I woke up so happy this morning, but then I thought,
I have nothing to wear today.
do I want coffee or tea this morning?
What's the weather like?
Oh my gosh, did I finish that homework assignment? Hashtag first world problems, right? Then one day, you're sitting in class, browsing through social media, and you see your friend who's currently volunteering abroad, and you're overcome by guilt. You think, maybe I should donate. Or even better, I can volunteer as well. While your intentions are good, you may not know the true impact of foreign aid.
Did you know that more than $2 trillion of foreign aid has been transferred from rich countries to poor over the past 50 years? Africa, the biggest recipient by far. Yet regardless of the motivation for aid giving, economic, political, or moral aid has failed to deliver the promise of sustainable economic growth and poverty reduction.
What is foreign aid? The foreign aid model was built around the Marshall Plan, an American initiative to aid post-World War II Western Europe. The U.S. contributed a current value of $130 billion over 5 years to help rebuild Western economies. The logic behind this was that donations would promote savings, leading to investments and growth. During this time, many countries around the world, including Africa, were emerging from the colonial period. However, there were no established savings patterns. Thus, aid was meant to act as savings, to drive investments, promote growth, and reduce poverty.
The intentions of foreign aid are clear, help those in need, but the impacts are quite the opposite. Today, in sub-Saharan Africa, over 414 million people are living under $1.25 a day, which is the price of a small Tim Hortons coffee. It's been 60 years since foreign aid has been implemented, but nothing's changed. Why? Let's take a closer look into foreign aid, which includes monetary donations, charity-based aid, humanitarian, and government-to-government aid. As humans, we feel a moral obligation to make the world a better place by helping those less fortunate than us. Through donating or volunteering at a number of well-respected charities, we feel we're making a positive impact, and as a result, we feel good about ourselves. What we don't think about, however, is that the solutions charities provide are often temporary. Services charities provide now will not always be available to those who need it most. In the future, current charities may no longer exist, or they may alter their programs, leaving poorly structured governments responsible.
Many charities also restrict the economy of the country they are helping by undermining local businesses and limiting job growth. In many cases, if a charity is rebuilding infrastructure, then local construction businesses are given less priority for those jobs. A prominent example is when Jason Sadler set out to donate 1 million t-shirts to children in Africa, where there are already many merchants trying to sell their clothing products. Donations such as these hinder the economies of developing countries.
Many charities and emergency aids are rightly scrutinized for high administrative costs and poor implementation, but these costs amount to nothing compared to the billions of dollars transferred to the governments of developing countries. Long-term systematic aid is destructive to the economy of developing countries in Africa due to the dependency it perpetuates. According to the World Bank database, sub-Saharan Africa has a GDP of $1.7 billion. Over 70% of this comes from foreign aid, where the population might see less than 20 cents per dollar donated.
On the other hand, there are a number of countries, including China, India, Brazil, and Russia, who are aid graduates, and they are now projected to exceed the economic growth rates of all economies by 2050. The key difference is that aid was given over a short period of time, and the receiving governments were more closely scrutinized than those of today. Financial aid increases corruption. The solution? Eliminate the dependency of these countries such that they are held accountable for the development of their economies and social structure. How do we accomplish this?
From an economics perspective, we need to limit the amount and time of foreign aid provided to these countries. The best way to develop a country is for it to develop itself. If charities were rooted and run by the people they serve, there would be higher accountability and more effective growth and development. If government officials were held responsible for corruption crimes, making sound policies, and providing for their people, rather than being given money by other governments, these countries would stand a better chance at eliminating poverty.
The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now.